You're in no way trying to convince you to play retail, but when you started retail about a month ago, you talked among friends who played retail before. Experience was retail changes a lot. Yep, sure. This led me to returning to Elwyn, and I'm following a wiki listing all the classic locations. It's been a fun experience, fun quest lines. I've got a limited amount of time in my day. I am choosing it to play classic. People have told me many reasons why I should play retail. I am choosing to play this. This is where my friends are. This is where the experience I want is. I'm going back and experiencing it this way. If I play retail in the future, I'll let you know. I'm glad that you're enjoying it, but I cannot change around what I'm doing right now. If you have limited time to play, why are you playing slow, grindy classic? Makes zero sense. Jake, is that a genuine question, or are you trying to troll for a bit? I want to know the kind of energy that we're approaching this conversation with. Sirius, you said you don't have much time. The quality of a game is not in how far you progress in it, in what time you play. The quality of a game is in the enjoyment that you have in the moment-to-moment gameplay of it, which is what I value. And while while classic is indeed grindy and slower, I value the moment-to-moment gameplay and I appreciate the progression that I experience within it. A game does not have more or less value based on how fast you progress within it, at least not to me. If you think that a limited amount of time to play a game means that you need to prioritize and only play a game that you progress quickly in, then you are valuing the essence of progression more than you are necessarily valuing the experience of playing the game itself. Now, personally, I like the value of playing the game. How fast I progress in that is irrelevant as long as I'm enjoying the moment to moment. Classic is indeed a slow game. No doubt about that. But that doesn't make it a bad game. What gets to me quite often is the amount of people that say, oh, this person's just trolling, when they genuinely aren't. That is actually what people do think and actually what people believe. And I think when people hear someone or see someone say something that they think is a bit silly, they normally say, oh, this person's just trolling, because in their mind, they wouldn't say something like that. You're overthinking what I'm saying. I didn't say it's bad, lol. Playing a slower, more grindy game makes no sense when your excuse for playing it is because you don't have much time. Jake, I really don't know, man, if you're just trying to be done with this. When I say that I don't have time to play other games, I mean that I don't have a lot of time to play different games. I'm playing for 8 hours a day. That's an insane amount of time to play video games for. That is like a full-time job amount of time to play video games for. That is, when you have like a life and a family and a job, that is a ridiculous amount of time to play. So play the real WoW then. What? At this point, Jake, I think you're just trying to get onto the Clips channel, to be honest. You know what's a shame is the amount... I genuinely cannot tell if someone is trolling, if someone is unable to comprehend that people play games differently to the way they play it, or if someone is trying to rage bait because they have nothing else going on in their day. Which I honestly find really sad. Like, if you've got nothing else going on in your day, man, that's fine. If you just want to have a conversation, that's cool. But we can have a conversation where you ask genuine questions, not just try to rage bait. He isn't trolling, that's just how he is. I can't tell anymore. Rage bait is kind of fun. No, it's weirdly not. Rage bait is fun when it's funny. When it's funny, that's absolutely fine. But people really need to understand what is and isn't funny with rage baiting. You've got to be clever with it. I'm genuinely interested as to your reason with timing makes naught sense. Jake, you say that it makes naught sense. Can you understand this, okay? Some people play video games because they enjoy the process of playing video games. Are you with me so far? I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Are you with me so far? People play games because they enjoy the way that game plays. You with me so far? Okay, cool. I am playing a grindy game that takes up quite a lot of my time. You with me so far on that one? Are we all progressing through? We're all there too. The devout belt. I don't need that. Okay, you with me so far? Because I am playing a grindy game, I don't have a lot of time to play other games. So, as much as I would like to complete Dawn of War 2 or Dawn of War 3 or Dawn of War 4 when it comes out, as much as I would like to play all of the older Broken Sword games, as much as I would like to go back and play the new Soul Reaver, now that's been kind of remastered, I don't have a huge amount of time to do that because I'm spending a lot of time playing this game. Are you with me so far? I hope you're with me so far, because I don't think anything we've said so far is too complicated. Okay, there's been some ads, we've lost him. We've lost him to the ads. That's fine, we'll wait for him to come back. I think he was just rage baiting, to be honest. Probably. The thing is that you can't discount it because so many people do genuinely think like that. Like, that is actually what people think. There are so many people who genuinely, 100%, honestly, honest to God, cannot comprehend that someone plays a video game differently to the way they play it. And they think that they've effectively solved the problem that I have with games. Oh, there we go. You're talking about your specific reason for choosing Classic over Retail, and you said you chose Classic because you have less time, which makes no sense as Classic takes up more time. What? Jake, you're confusing two things here. I chose World of Warcraft Classic because I personally enjoy the gameplay experience that it provides more than World of Warcraft Retail. I'm not saying that the experience Retail provides is bad or no one likes. I'm saying that it does not appeal to me. Because of that, Classic does take up a lot of my time because it is a grindy game. This means that I have less free time in order to play other games casually. Are you with me so far? Okay, consider it like this. Forget the fact that I'm playing Classic at all. Imagine that I go to work for 8 hours a day. When I come home from work, I don't have as much time to then go and play other games that I want to play. Yeah, get you. I misheard the original statement. Okay. I'm glad we're on the same page. Josh, I understand your logic, but I'm getting quite tired of these discussions. I love you playing the way you like. Hobby, the problem is this. You will get tired of these discussions. Somebody else will join the stream, and they will ask a question that has been asked hundreds of times before. I cannot say to them, I've already answered that 100 times, don't ask it, because to them it is the first time they've ever asked it. Imagine a teacher teaching the same lesson again and again and again and again and again. When a new student who's never learned the lesson asks a question, you cannot simply say, I've already answered that to somebody else. It is boring. It is dull. It is the same things again and again. Unfortunately, it is the same lessons that you must keep teaching. Also, I don't really care about the end game as much. I care about the experience of playing the game. If we get to the end game, great. But I'd much rather we just continue to play the game. Hang on. Chat, I'm not having a stroke. I thought he said he intentionally chose Classic over Retail due to limited time to play. All right, Jake, even if I did choose that, why do you feel it's appropriate to then jump into the stream and say, this choice makes no sense, why are you doing this? Because what you're doing, unfortunately, is you're very much validating people's opinion on Retail players, as in they absolutely must tell other people how to play. Even if you misunderstood, the process that you've engaged in order to clarify your misunderstanding, unfortunately, is proving a lot of stereotypes right. If you'd have come in and been like, hey man, just want to clarify something. I think I heard you say that you didn't have a lot of time free and so you chose to play Classic. That seems a little bit weird because in my mind, Classic is it's a slower game. Didn't mean to trigger anyone, my bad. Okay, Jake, while I'm sure that we aren't going to chat too much in the future, I do just want to possibly say something that I think will apply to a lot of people in this chat. There are certain phrases that when you use them will encourage other people to judge you. And the reason those people will judge you is because the phrase that you use is typically used by a demographic of people who are difficult to engage with. And the word didn't mean to trigger you is often associated with people who are trying to dismiss any issue that they may have, touched on or caused. I think that while the word triggered does indeed have a place within discussion, I think it's been used quite frequently, recently, within the last 3 or 4 years, to almost imply that your words have upset someone to such a degree that they have had an emotional outburst reaction. And because of the emotional outburst, their response is less valid. It has the energy of, I am emotionally superior because I am not upset. and you are emotionally inferior because you are upset. Can you understand where I'm coming from with that? It's the verbal equivalent of the smug smile that someone does when you know that they're no longer trying to engage with you in good faith, but instead are trying to engage with you in an emotionally negative way. That's the energy that it's got. Now, if you meant to do that, that's fine. Spoken like a true triggered person. Ah, Jake, right, you're just actually an asshole. Okay. I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt and be fair with you and be honest and be genuine, but it turns out you are in fact just a prick. That's fine as well. I don't mind giving people the benefit of the doubt right up until they prove me right. I would rather extend a level of grace and courtesy to people who are genuinely trying. Right, what? I'm an asshole, you're being pedantic now. Jake, I don't want you in this chat anymore. I will happily extend a level of grace and civility to people that I think are... If I'm unsure if someone's being deliberately obtuse or if someone is genuinely trying to engage, I will happily extend the level of grace to someone to engage. We've had people in this chat who have come in with a negative energy, who have been willing to engage in good faith. Maybe they weren't very good at it, but they were willing to engage in good faith. And that, endless patience for that, no problem at all. You know, if someone is willing to try, we're willing to work. That's an honest, genuine thing. It's when you extend the level of grace and civility to someone that they then immediately say, well, you've given me that, thanks, but I'm going to just continue being a bit of an arsehole. Now, some people have said to me that they think it's foolish that I do try and engage with people in that level, but I would rather be tricked 100 times and continue to be nice 100 times than risk being immediately confrontational towards someone who is genuinely trying to engage. Because if someone wants to do better, because wanting to do better and wanting to change is scary. Honestly, it's terrifying. So if someone comes to me and they have a chat and they do in their mind want to do better, and I meet them with immediate mockery, immediate confrontation, immediate ban, you know what that does? That proves to that person that they should never have tried. And one thing that we should never do is prove to people they should never try. If someone comes in and tries to try, meet that with a level of respect. Meet that with a level of kind of genuine, actual connection. Even if it hurts. Even if you risk being tricked. And so every time someone says to me, oh, they're just trolling, I'm thinking, okay, maybe they are. Maybe we're going to get 99 trolls for every single one, genuine person. But do we want to push that one genuine person away immediately? Because all we're doing is just driving them further and further and further away from people who will at one point be willing to help them, which sucks. So why can't you take your own advice and try retail WoW to try it even if it hurts? Creative, because I don't particularly want to play retail WoW. I want to play the game that I want to play. I'm not telling people that... Have I ever told people that play WoW that they need to come and play Classic? I don't think I've done that, have I? Also, when you say take your own advice, my advice is do what makes you happy without letting other people pressure you or feeling the need to tell people what to do. My advice is not, you have to do what I think is right. Kecksburg's retail equals bad. No, it doesn't. Stop being the problem from the opposite side. How can you listen to what I've just said about balancing what you want to do and immediately meet it with retail equals bad? No, it doesn't. Think deeper on these things, bro. Come on. What I love is that I will say something and people that agree with me will go, oh, that's so based. And then I'll say something that they disagree with and they'll be like, oh no, I thought you were on my side. No. I'm neither with you nor against you. I'm on the idea and the genuine side of having a conversation and a discussion. It's not about tribalism for us and not for them. It's so weird that I say, hey, I'm not a big fan of retail personally. And people go, oh yeah, retail sucks. I agree with you, Josh. And I'm like, well, I'm not saying it sucks. I'm just saying that it's not the thing that I personally want to play. And they're like, no, you have to say it sucks because we've already agreed with you. What are you doing? Why are you being as reductive as other people are? None of this is a good idea. The tribalism of people that want to agree with me. The danger with the tribalism online is that if you find someone that you agree with and says things that you agree with, you get fully behind them. And as soon as that person says something you disagree with, you completely throw them away. Which to me is terrifying. This is one of the reasons that so many streamers just don't bother saying anything that is in any way divisive. They just say empty platitudes and... Ooh, strength and spirit. Do I need those? No. They give you empty platitudes, and they give you nice simple phrases and catchphrases that you can't disagree with. I've never been able to catch one of your streams before, though you engaging with the community is wildly different from my experience with your videos. That being said, do you hope they ever remaster or remake WoW Classic? I don't know. Gamer King, how is my streaming different to the clips that you've seen? Because that is a fascinating thing to say, and I'm genuinely interested. If you say that my streaming is different to what you've seen on the clips, how so? I'm not even going to go at you. I'm like really genuinely actually interested. Because the clips are how most people do obviously engage with me. You're funnier in the clips. That's true. That's very true. The jokes don't repeat forever. Yep. That's because the clips are the best part of it. On the side of retail versus classic, what's your opinion on game communities gatekeeping their game so it doesn't change beyond the scope of what makes their game enjoyable for the community that got into it? This is as a 2004 player, I don't like that the game I loved changed so drastically that it no longer caters to what made the game special and the community that came to love it. There is definitely an aspect to that. The question you have to ask yourself then is that a game is, at some point, a game is a product. Yes, a game is a community, it's a cultural icon, but the game is also, to a degree, a product. And from a business point of view, we do have to understand that. Will the community that came to love it support the product forever? Will they continue to pay money to the product? Will the product continue to make as much money as it possibly could do if it remains exactly the same as it was forever? That's the question. And if the answer is no, then from a business point of view, does the product have a responsibility to change? It's neither yes nor no. It's just an interesting question to ask. Because so many people end up saying, the game has changed beyond what I knew. Okay. If the game has changed beyond what you knew, would you have continued to give it as much money as you did give it? As other people gave it? Regarding the tribalism and us versus them, would humanity benefit from abolishing borders and maybe nationally based governments outright? Bell, that is way beyond the scope of what I'm remotely qualified to talk about at all. I have no idea. You find the clips less enjoyable, but I understand they are great for the channel. They are indeed. They absolutely are indeed. Josh, would I take a small bite of product? I would demolish product. All right. I've eaten product on stream before. I enjoyed it. It was fine to me. The difference here is the answer was yes. It would have continued to make money at about the same rate, but they tried to gain more popularity. I don't think it would have done, because I think you would have player churn. People would leave the game faster than they would join. I think you would have had churn. Something staying static and the same forever will not generate the same amount of income consistently. That is why you've got WoW Classic, but you've also got WoW Classic progression servers, and then you've also got WoW Classic, whatever this thing is, TBC Anniversary. People raid log in Classic once the content runs out, keep things the same too long, and they will just log off permanently. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. What's strange to me is that you deal with the opposite. Your opinions are generally considerate, reasonable, and middle of the road. And what you get is people angry at you is not extreme. Zop, really cool observation you've made there. I'll explain why. Streamers that give extreme opinions will be met with extreme support and extreme hate. If you say, I believe, in this, and this, you'll be met with the people who are absolutely in favor. Tribally so, cult-like so. If you don't validate their opinion and their feelings, people think that you're against them. People think that you're either with them or against them. And if you say middle of the road, relatively considerate, relatively balanced things, the extreme people from both sides that disagree with you think that you're wrong and hate you. So it's possible to say, hey, you've got some good ideas, but so's that guy. And both people will go, you don't agree with me 100%, therefore you are wrong. We have got sworn testimonies of streamers who have said that they have changed the audience they appeal to because they simply make more money appealing to one audience hardcore over another. If you want to be safe, it's sometimes a great idea to choose an extreme and become its champion. Because the great thing about that extreme is you just keep pushing people that disagree with you out, and the people that do agree with you, who are being constantly validated by you, end up giving you money. But then people target those people and say, oh, you're just a fence sitter, as if one side of the fence is objectively better than the other in every single situation. Now, most situations, yeah, one side is absolutely going to be way better. Don't get me wrong. But not all the time forever. That's the complexity of it. There are a lot of people who are very lonely, very bigoted, very extreme, and very wealthy. And if you appeal to those people, They will give you what they have in excess of to get what they don't have an excess of. As in, they will give you something that has less value to them, which is money, if you give them something that has more value to them, which is validation. People spend what they have in order to get what they need. And if what you have is lots of time, but what you need is money, you will spend your time at work to get money. If you have a lot of money, but what you don't have is a lot of time, you will spend your money on things that save you time. If what you have is a huge amount of social influx and power, but what you don't have is internal validation or self-love, you will find someone that can provide that and give that to you, and you will give them the benefits of your social power. We trade what we have for what we want or need. Yes, absolutely. Guzen, it does. If you appeal to an extreme fan base, the extreme fan base are more likely to forgive you for whatever you do that they don't necessarily like, provided you keep validating them. And this applies to both ways. I cannot tell you the amount of people in university that I met that wore a Che Guevara t-shirt who did not want to listen to anything negative about that guy. They were like, oh, this dude's a communist hero. I'm like, have you actually read up on him? Dude was a bit of an arsehole. But it's much easier to choose a champion for your cause that stands in your corner and then forgive them for any of their misdemeanors. Some people are also bad with money. Absolutely. The amount of people who have money who aren't good with it is pretty extreme. Oh, this absolutely works in politics, without a doubt. If anything, politics is pretty much made up of it. What happens to agree to disagree? That doesn't make money. Haven't all philosophers have used drugs at some point? Probably. What would happen if you validated everyone equally, like as much as realistically possible? Would you be the most hated or the most beloved man? You would be the man that no one cares for at all. Because if you validate everyone equally, you have to then validate opposing opinions, which means that your validation, once people realize that you're doing that, means nothing. If you try to validate everyone equally, you are effectively saying that you will agree with people who disagree with other people, and then you will vice versa agree with those who disagree with the first people, which means that as soon as anyone realizes you're doing that, it is completely disingenuous. Harpixel says, I have no idea where you get this support my racism and I will give you money take. I mean, if you take a quick look at, take a quick gander at politics, you might see it. Guys, let's be smart. Let's not have this conversation on Twitch devolve into this, shall we? Because this ain't gonna work. You guys know this ain't gonna work. It's not gonna be a good idea. You're all smarter than this. Not gonna be the right place to have the conversation. There is absolutely a proven link of, if you agree with my opinion and you further my cause, I will give you what money I can give you. This is going to turn negative very quickly, so take a step back. This is a massive beast. But what we were talking about was the human condition. We were talking about the idea within the human condition that people will trade what they have for what they want. People will trade what they have for what they need. Is this a teacher tactic to offer conditional validation to encourage good behavior, not asking in a snarky way? Absolutely. Look, there's lots of tactics that you would use if you want to get behavior from someone. You can validate small opinions. What we do is you encourage what you want to see and you discourage what you don't want to see. That's effectively what it all boils down to. You encourage the behavior you like, you discourage the behavior you don't like. You reward the behavior you like, you punish the behavior you don't like. I get it. Fashion is a good use there. That's like a gold star from my English teacher. Absolutely it is. Absolutely. I mean, there are many people that have been paid to effectively continue to validate ideas and opinions. Social media is just a massive digital battleground. Validate what you want to see or hear around you. Absolutely. But remember, guys, when it's something you agree with, it's facts. When it's something you disagree with, it's propaganda. That's how it works. Nobody ever fact checks something they already agree with. If it's saying stuff that you agree, then it's news. But that's just how people be, yo. No one's immune to propaganda. No one. If you think you are immune to propaganda, you are the exact person it would work really well on. Because the first thing propaganda will do is tell you that you're immune to it. And then you'll be like, yeah, I am immune to it. And then it will validate you, that you are smart and you are clever and you are cool. And you know who isn't? Those people over there. And you'll be like, oh, why? And you'll be like, well, those people over there, they believe in this, 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 and this. But you don't, do you? Because you're smart. And you'll be like, yeah, you know, I do want to keep being told nice things by you, so I will believe in what you tell me. Yeah, I am smart. There you go.